here we are. The last update on the build. And you will never guess what the issue was. So just to let you know, the bike is running. She runs great. Still riding it, a tuner and everything. Actually, today was the first day out that I had with it. Obviously, I wheelied it already.
Hey, these niggas thought I was gone, but I never left. I just went took a little time off. I just got tired of the hate, nigga, really gay. Hey, don't let me find out. I'm trying to see what you crying about, hate. For my gang, I'm down by hate. My team up this ain't no trying, I hate. We in the game, ain't no time, I hate. You can get me in the haven, bitch. I'm talking so hate. Trap out the spot every day till I say that I made it. But I don't got pace. These niggas count like they got it, but really ain't able. See, I hate to take it. Y'all ain't see me, I be rocking the lady. Fizz on my ass trying to put me on case. Hey, you might hear me say the same shit, hey. Might talk about the same shit, tell me that. How you gon' read on my name, bitch, hey. You know this some lame shit, fuck it. I'm finna pull up on some gang shit, hey. Bitch, don't get your brain split. You got your crew with you, but you know that ain't gon' change shit. Free BK out of the chain quit, hey. I'm on the same shit.
But let me tell you, so day 3, I go right back down there, and before we even try to turn it over, you know, we turn it over by hand, tested compression, we got compression, we got spark, we got fuel. So why didn't it start? And you know, I even checked the timing chain because I got some hints from some people saying like you got to make sure all the slack is picked up off the bottom, because if it's not, you could be off, yada yada yada. Did all that. It was good. So we tried to start it. Same thing. Same sound. No difference. And then we stopped. And we removed the tappet covers. And on the inside of one of the tappet covers is this big gash mark. Now, we had noticed the gash mark earlier on, like one of the other times, but never noticed it getting any worse at any other point, like it was an issue. But this day, what happened was the valve hit the piston. And so in the time we were trying to crank it and start it up, you know, we had more compression. We also noticed that the spark plug wasn't seating all the way proper. So once we did that, we had more compression in the test. And then all of a sudden, after cranking the engine a couple times, we had less compression. So we take the head off. And sure enough, thinking like maybe a valve bent. And so like in taking the head off, like I said, we took the tappet cover off. And this time when we take it off, it had an even bigger gouge taken out of it this time. So we knew something was up. At that moment, I'm like, what if from the beginning it had tapped one time and bent the valve? And he was like, well, I checked the head before and there was not a bent valve. So I'm like, all right, bet. So we proceed to tear down the head, take the valve out, it's bent. And I go over and I look at the piston. And on the piston, you can see the little mark on it where, like, you know, it had tapped it. And it got me thinking, I'm like, all right, like, how did it hit the piston like that? Like, it didn't do it any other time. And then all of a sudden, like, today was the day that it decided to hit the piston. So we put a new valve in. We put the head back on. Before putting the head back on, I even checked again to make sure the slack was all picked up off the bottom for the cam chain. It was dead nuts with the timing. Couldn't be any better. And we put the head back on, bolt everything up, and then we proceed to start the engine. But I was like, instead of putting the covers on, just leave them off. We just put the valve the cam cover on. Push that button. Zig, zig, pat, 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 and she fired right up like it was nothing. And that was the issue. So to get deeper into what the actual issue was, so day 1, day 2, we probably didn't bend a valve yet, and we were getting lucky in all those times of starting it, because what was happening is the aftermarket tappet covers that I have, though they look deeper than the stock ones, actually sit a little more shallow. And when you bolt it down, you don't feel it when you put it on, but I guess when it squishes the gasket, when you bolt it down, it was pushing on the adjuster, which then made contact with the valve and was pushing the valve slightly open. So that's why we had no compression when it started. And that's why we were getting the gouge. And I guess that day, after we had redone the valves, we reset the valves and everything, a hair looser. Actually, no, it might have been a hair tighter, I forget. But we reset the valves, and then in trying to start the bike again, it had an even bigger gouge. So that was the problem. So we machined out the tops of the tappet covers, making sure everything was gravy, and she runs. I've been riding her, tuning it. Went out to the lot today. It was a beautiful day, so I had to. But yeah, our troubles are over with that. We got the Anarchy Nation cage back on her. We got our new look going. I'll show you all this right here. I decided to switch it up a little bit. But anyway, figure I come back, give y'all follow up on everything that's going on with the build. Like I said, still got stickers. So if you want one, get one. I really appreciate all my supporters that got them already. Thank you for sharing on Instagram and everything. Rock it. I hope you like it. And I really appreciate your support. Yeah. But like, subscribe, hit that bell, know when my next video is coming out. Until next time, I'm your boy. You know where to find me. Peace, y'all.